Okay, good morning, student, once again.
Good morning, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. So you please write down the topic, okay? Dressing. It's first aid practical. So you write down dressing. D-R-E-S-S-I-N-G, dressing. Dressing. You have got now in your this syllabus, there is a topic, dressing and bandaging. So today you write a little bit about all this. And on the next class, we will do all this practically. Have you written anything? Dressing and bandaging? Dressing and bandaging. Have you written dressing and bandaging?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Samson, what is dressing in first aid? Not the dressing, okay? The outfit dressing, not that. Samson, what is dressing in first aid, according to your opinion?
Dressing means cleaning of the wounded area and putting on the bandages.
Okay, very good, Samson. Okay, thank you. So all of you, you write down the definition. Okay, later on I will be giving you the notes, but in case if I won't give all, then you write it down. Okay, dressing is a protective covering. Okay, which is, and if you don't write down also, like while I'm explaining NASA for your knowledge, you just write down some point. Later on I'll be sending you all the PDF. So you just listen, okay, and write down some point for yourself. So dressing, it is one of the protective covering, okay, which is mainly applied to the wound, as mentioned by Samson, okay. So we mainly apply the dressing, okay, over the wound, okay, for the protection. So why dressing is mainly done? So if we talk about why it is mainly done, then the reason behind is that the dressing, it is mainly done to control the bleeding, okay? To control bleeding, all those points, whatever I mentioned, you just write it down. It is mainly done to control our bleeding, and then also what to say, to prevent infection, as well as to absorb any kind of discharge, means any kind of discharge, the fluid discharge, okay, the maybe like the bleeding or any kind of discharge that occur, like to absorb any discharge. And also dressing is also like important because it can avoid any kind of further injury, okay, because if primary or early treatment is done, then you can avoid further injury. And the other is that it also help in assisting in healing, okay, it help to assist in healing. So healing maybe madad karte hai. So what we find is that dressing, it is mainly a protective covering, okay, which is mainly applied to the wound in order to control bleeding, in order to prevent infection, to absorb any kind of discharge, and to avoid further injury, and to assist in healing. So are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I ask you, will you be able to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So dressing is a protective. I'm repeating, okay? I'm repeating. Dressing is a protective covering applied to the wound in order to control bleeding, in order to prevent infection, in order to absorb any kind of discharge, and to avoid further injury, and to assist in healing. Healing spelling is H-E-A-L-I-N-G, healing. So now let us discuss what are the characteristic features of efficient dressing. Okay, what is the characteristic? What are the characteristic features of efficient dressing? Means proper dressing. So first of all, it should be sterile. Means the dressing that you will be performing, that should be sterile. So that day we already talked about the sterile, is not it? So no need to explain again. So first of all, it should be sterile. And the other one, that the dressing should be soft with proper pores to allow the oozing of discharge and sweating. Okay, it should be soft. It should be soft with proper pores to allow the oozing of discharge and sweating. And it should also be large enough, okay, to cover the area of the wound. Means the dressing that you perform, okay, that the dressing should not be small. It should be large enough so that it cover the particular like injured area, okay, it cover the area of the wound and also extend about 2.5 centimeter beyond it. Means like the dressing should not be small, it should be large enough, okay. So it means extend the dressing beyond the edge of the wound. Means like don't just cover with the wound like just at the edge of the wound, okay, edge of the wound, EDG, at the edge of the wound. You have to cover it like you have to cover it fully. And then also you should try to prevent any further contamination, okay, because contamination can also lead to infections, no? So you should try to prevent any further contamination. So what do you mean by contamination? Contamination, Carly, what is contamination?
Infection, ma'am.
Yes, it's almost correct, okay, Carly, thank you. You have to prevent any further contamination. Contamination, it means any kind of things that related to like infection, okay. Infection means infection or else not infection exactly, any kind of dirt, okay, any kind of dirt, any kind of dirty things, that is known as contamination. If you say that, oh, it's very contaminated, the area is very contaminated, means the area is very dirty, it's not clean, that is known as contamination. So you should try to prevent any kind of further contamination, okay, because if once the injured area or the infected area where you are performing the dressing, if that area is contaminated, what happens is that it can also lead to further infection. That is why you need to prevent. That comes under its characteristic feature. So, and then you have to secure a dressing with tape or bandages, okay? With any kind of tape or bandages, you have to secure the dressing. Those are some of the characteristic features of dressing. So, are you clear, all of you, or else we will repeat? Are you clear?
Ma'am,
Can you repeat, ma'am?
Okay. Characteristic of efficient dressing. Okay. EFFICIENT. Characteristic of efficient dressing. Efficient means proper dressing. Okay. So number one is the dressing. It should be sterile. It should be sterile. It should not be dirty. It should be sterile. And number two is it should be very, very soft. Okay. The dressing should not be hard. It should be very soft with proper pores. Okay, to allow the oozing of the discharge and sweating. And then the area should be like the dressing area should be large enough, okay. Extend that means you have to extend the dressing beyond the edge of the wound. Means extend the dressing beyond the edge of the wound. It should not be small, it should be large enough so that it cover the like injured area. And then prevent any kind of further contamination, okay, prevent further contamination. And then secure a dressing with tape or else bandages. These are the characteristic features. Are you clear? Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there are like there is also a types of dressing, okay, but all these type of dressing and all I will show you all practically, okay. So today let us just discuss about the theory portion. So there are beside these characteristic features, okay, there are also some general rules that you need to apply for dressing, okay. Hum dressing ka practical karne ka aage we have to know the general rules for applying dressing. What are the rules? What are the rules that are being made, okay, for this applying dressing? So first of all, you have to wash your hand before dressing, okay, if possible. So if the proper like tape, if proper tape is available, okay, and then in that case, what you have to do is that you have to wash your hand, or else if the like the water facility is not available nearby, then you can also like carry a sanitizer along with you. So that is number one, okay. Number one rule is wash your hand before dressing if possible. And then number two is clean the wound and its surrounding skin if wound is not large and bleeding is under control. That means you have to clean the wound, okay, properly. As well, not only the wound, in the wound, if there is bleeding, you have to clean, okay, with the help of the swab, with the help of the cotton, with the help of whatever like materials is available, okay. You have to clean the wound. Not only the wound, you have to also clean the surrounding, okay, the surrounding skin. You have to clean the surrounding skin, okay, if the wound is not that much large. So you can just clean the surrounding also. And bleeding should also be under control. So if there is excessive bleeding, you should try to control the bleeding. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then do we need to touch the wound frequently? I mean, like, do you need to keep on touching the wound frequently? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
You should try to avoid touching the wound, okay, or any part of the dressing that is that is coming in contact with the wound, okay, any part. So you have, first of all, you have to avoid touching the wound, as well as any part of the dressing that is coming in contact with the wound. All those you need to avoid it, okay. And then one most important that I would like to say you all is that never ever cough, okay, over the wound or dressing. Never cough over the wound or your dressing. And then, like, if necessary, try to cover non-adhesive dressing, okay, with pads of cotton wool in order to have control bleeding and absorb any kind of like discharge. So just try to use if possible or if necessary, okay, you cover the area with non-adhesive dressing, okay, non-adhesive. I hope you know what is adhesive and what is not non-adhesive. Balo, what is adhesive? What is non-adhesive? Because there is an adhesive dressing, there is a non-adhesive dressing, na? Adhesive, adhesive. Balo, what is adhesive?
To protect the infected.
Okay. Gayatri, what is adhesive? Gayatri, what is adhesive? Aliza, what is adhesive? Okay, Ritik, what is adhesive? What is adhesive? Okay, Samson, can you please explain for your friend what is adhesive and what is non-adhesive? Network apa Uta? That means record kan so wait.